You know that feeling when you walk into a house and something just feels right? And other times a place just feels off, and you can't quite put your finger on why. Well, for thousands of years, an ancient Indian practice has claimed to have the answer. Today, we're going to dive into that practice, the incredible art of placement known as Vastu Shastra.
At its heart, Vastu is so much more than just where you put your furniture. It's a really deep philosophy. It's about making a conscious choice to line up the places we live with the bigger patterns of the universe, all to create a real sense of harmony. Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly is this ancient art, and how in the world does it promise to bring all this cosmic harmony into our homes and, our lives? To put it simply, think of Vastu as this amazing mix of science, spirituality, and design. The whole idea is that if you carefully plan the layout and direction of a building, you can actually channel positive cosmic energies into that space. And that energy, it can lead to good health, prosperity, and just general happiness. It's all about creating spaces that are in sync with the rhythm of the universe. And let me be clear, this is not some new age trend. We are talking about seriously deep historical roots. Archaeologists have found signs of Vastu principles in the ruins of the Harappan civilization, some of the oldest cities in the world. Can you imagine that? Cities planned over 5,000 years ago with streets so perfectly aligned that the wind basically acted as a natural cleaning service. That's Vastu in action, right there. Now, to really understand the soul of Vastu, we have to go way back to its origin story. It's this incredible myth that explains why we have to build in a way that respects the earth itself. So, the story goes, it all starts with the creator god, Brahma. He's in this moment of pure creative energy and just decides to, experiment. He's going to bring something completely new, something nobody's ever seen before, into existence. But this wasn't just any old creation. Nope, it was a massive, monstrous giant. And this thing was expanding so fast that its shadow alone was big enough to cover the whole Earth, like a second nightfall. As you can imagine, the entire universe was absolutely terrified of this thing.
So the other gods, they're freaking out. They run to Brahma and they're like, "You have got to do something about this." So Brahma gets together a cosmic task force, 45 different deities. And in this epic move, they all just hurl themselves onto the giant. A massive cosmic dogpile that squashes him flat against the surface of the planet.
So, the giant's pinned down, right? And he complains to Brahma saying, "Hey, I was just doing what you designed me to do." And he had a point. So they struck a deal. The giant was given immortality and a new name, Vastu Purusha, which means the spirit of the earth. And in return, here's the kicker, anyone who ever builds anything on earth has to honor him first. If they don't, they risk his anger. So in a way, every single building is literally built on the body of this cosmic being.
All right, so out of that foundational myth, Vastu builds a kind of science of the universe. And it all starts with 5 basic elements that, according to this system, make up, everything. According to Vastu, creation happens in a really specific sequence. It's like a cosmic recipe. First, from the void, you get ether, or space, which is represented by a yellow dot. Then, that ether condenses into air, a green circle. From air, you get fire, a red triangle. Fire then transforms into water, a blue crescent. And finally, water solidifies into earth, a saffron square. Each element gets its own sense, its own color, and its own shape. And this is where the shape becomes super important because earth is the final, most solid element. Its shape, the square, is seen as the most stable foundation you can have. This is exactly why Vastu is all about square or rectangular plots for building. Trying to build on a circle or a triangle? That'd be like trying to build your house on air or fire. It's just not stable.
So, we've got this wild myth, we've got these cosmic elements, but how does that actually help you figure out where to put your kitchen? Well, the answer is in something called a sacred grid.
Okay, this is where it all comes together, and it's so cool. Remember that cosmic giant, the Vastu Purusha, being held down by the 45 gods? Well, this grid, the Vastu Purusha mandala, is basically a diagram of that. Each of the 45 gods holds down a specific part of the giant's body, and this grid is meant to be laid over a building site, acting as a divine blueprint that tells you where every single room should go.
And this grid tells you exactly how it works. For example, the northeast corner corresponds to the giant's face, which makes it the most sacred zone, perfect for a meditation space or prayer room.
The southeast is where the fire god Agni is holding him down. So, what do you put there? The kitchen, of course. The southwest needs to be heavy to keep the giant pinned, making it the best spot for the master bedroom. And the very center, the navel or Brahmastana, has to stay open and clear, a sacred void.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds amazing, but how does this ancient cosmic map really apply to, a modern apartment? Let's break it down into a more practical guide. So here's how you'd apply it today. That prayer area or maybe a small water fountain, that goes in the northeast. The kitchen, with all its fiery appliances, the stove, the microwave, that's a perfect fit for the southeast. The master bedroom, usually the heaviest room with the biggest furniture, that should anchor the southwest. And the center of the home should ideally be an open space, like a courtyard or under a skylight to honor Brahma.
Okay, now here's something really fascinating. People often lump Vastu and Feng Shui together, but they have this one huge difference. In Vastu, the northeast is the best direction, the source of all the good divine energy. But in Feng Shui, it's called the gateway for devils, a direction you want to block. So what gives? Why the complete contradiction? It's actually really simple. Geography. India is protected by the massive Himalayan mountains from cold northern winds. So for them, the northeast brings pleasant, cool breezes. China, on the other hand, gets blasted by harsh winds from Siberia coming from the northeast. So you've got two different systems, and both are totally right for their own environment. Pretty cool, huh? So what this all really boils down to is that Vastu sees every home as a mini-universe, a living, breathing organism of energy. And it really makes you look at your own space in a different light, doesn't it? Is your home a place of harmony and good energy, or is there some cosmic clutter getting in the way? I guess that's the powerful thought to leave you with. If your home is truly a reflection of the universe, what story is it telling about your life?